Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Leap Expert Hour. And in today's session, we're going to do a very interesting comparison between UK, Canada, and Australia. And plus, we have a very special guest joining us all the way from Melbourne, Tushar Bareja. He runs a YouTube channel which is loved by over 3 lakh people, and he tells us all about student life in Australia, and he'll be joining us shortly, sharing his experiences. So before we start, guys, you can start posting your questions in the chat box, and I can see all your questions, and I'll try and answer most of them today. Uh, Also, for Tushar, I will request you to keep questions related to Australia only, because he'll be answering questions mostly related to Australia. For UK and Canada, I would be answering all your queries. Cool. Good evening, Rishi. Good evening, Imran. Hello. Hello, Mosam. Great. Jasdeep. Hello. Hi, Madhav. Yes, I'll explain about the UK PR. Unnati. Hello, Unnati. Hello, Siddharth. Hello, Sahil. Welcome back again. Good to see you here. Great, Alka. I completed my master's in microbiology. Right, Alka? Just let me know what you want to ask. Prince Bhatia, good evening. I just want to ask that. Okay, Prince, please complete your question. Uh, okay, what can I do? Alka, cool. I'll come back to your question soon. Uh, Arneha Raheja, which university is good for masters in finance in Australia? If you talk about the best universities in Australia, Arneha, Group of Fate universities is the way to go. Just the PR system in the UK, yes, I'll uh, talk about that shortly as well. Uh, Naresh Kumar, hi Saket, I hope you're feeling well now. Yes, I'm feeling much, much better. Thank you so much for asking. Siddharth, should we come after 12th standard? Well, cool. I'll quickly start answering questions, guys. I think a lot of questions are floating in. So before I do that, let's just quickly go through this today's very, very brief presentation. And yeah, let's start. Cool. So let's know the basics first. So when we talk about all three countries, what are the program options available to you? So in the UK, it is mandatory by the government that you have to do a degree level program to get a PSW. So in the UK, UG and PG degrees are available. In Canada, it does not matter if you do a diploma or a degree, you still get a post-study work visa. So you have UG and PG diplomas, which can be 1 year, 2 year, some diplomas, UG diplomas are also 3 years. Degrees can be some colleges, some universities have 3 year degrees as well, but very, very limited options. But mostly bachelor's degrees are 4 years, and masters can be 1 to 2 years. Yes, Canada also offers 1 year degrees. Australia, UG and PG degrees and diplomas, but I would recommend at least 2 years is the minimum mandate which is given by the Australian government to get a post-study work visa. Uh, Talking about the PSW in the UK, you get 2 years if you complete your bachelor's or master's, and if you complete a PhD, you get a 3 years post-study work visa. In Canada, uh, it ranges between 1 to 3 years. So if you complete a 1 year program, you get a 1 year PSW. If you complete a 2 year program or more, it gives you a 3 years PSW. So there are some programs which will be for like 16 months. You get equivalent amount of PSW, which will be for 16 months. In Australia, surprise, surprise, they have extended their post-study work visas now. So if you complete a PhD from a remote state, you can get up to 6 years of post-study work visa. However, you can get post-study work visas starting from 2 years to 6 years. Talking about part-time jobs, in the UK, you can work 20 hours per week during your term time and 40 hours during vacations. Same goes for Canada. You can work 20 hours off campus, 40 hours off campus during your vacations. However, there are no restrictions on campus jobs. In Australia, there is a temporary relaxation now. So international students can work 40 hours per week. And yeah, talking about the program duration, in the UK, you can get a degree between 1 to 4 years. So a bachelor's is ideally 3 years, or if you do a bachelor's with placement, which we call a sandwich degree, it can be 4 years. Medicine degrees, veterinary sciences degrees can last longer, and they will, or dentistry as well. They'll be around 5 years. A master's is usually 1 year, or if you do a master's with industrial placement, it will be one. It will be 1 plus 1, that is 2 years. Canada, the program durations is between 1 to 4 years. In Australia, like I said, the minimum you have to study is for 2 years to get a post-study work visa. Otherwise, you don't get the post-study work visa if you study for a program which is less than 2 years. Right. Basic things to know. IELTS waivers in the UK, yes, possible. Canada, very, very rare. Australia, yes, some universities may offer you IELTS waivers based on MOI. Not every university will do that. Conditional offers in the UK, yes. In Canada, in the colleges, you don't get conditional offers. Very few colleges offer that. But at universities, yes, you can conditional offer letters. Australia, yes, you'll get conditional offer letters at every university possible. Scholarships in the UK mostly are at PG level, so it can be between 5,000. It can be between £5,000 to 100% tuition fee waiver. In Canada, scholarships are there, but they're very, very few. Australia, the most generous country here, so you can get 100% scholarships at both UG and PG levels. However, most universities will be happy to offer you a scholarship between 20% to 50% to 75% as well. So plenty options out there. Talking about the application fee, because if you apply to 4 or 5 universities, you may end up shelling up 30,000, 40,000 rupees in the Indian currency, which is a big amount of money. So in the UK, very few top universities would have an application fee. Canada, mostly every college and university has an application fee. Australia, a few top universities would have an application fee. Cool. So which one you should choose? So every student is different. Every student wants something different from their careers. So yes, if scholarship is something you're looking at, then Australia would be a very good option, because like I said, Australia offers plenty UG and PG scholarships. If you're looking at research opportunities, if you want to do a PhD at a later stage, UK also offers MRes degrees, which is a master's in research degree, which prepares you for a PhD. UK would be the best option out of the three. Also, the UK PhDs are just 3 years, so you end up getting a PhD in a very small time. Also, UK universities are known. British and American universities, I would say, they are the top funds in research and development, all these kind of areas, if you're looking to do a PhD. Top ranking universities, if I compare the world ranking tables, if you are someone who wants to go with the rankings, then I think out of the all three, UK has the best list, I would say, followed by Australia and then Canada. For 3-year UG degree holders and people who want to do masters, I would say UK and Australia would make more sense. If someone is looking for IELTS waivers, I would say UK would be a better option. If you don't want to give the GMAT and GRE and still want to study at a top university abroad, then UK and Australia would be the best options. And if I talk about affordable tuition fee, then Canada would be the best option, but diploma programs are mostly affordable. However, the top universities tend to be expensive, but there are plenty options in Canada that will be very, very cheap. Cool. So before we start, there is a link which is floating in the chat box. So if you want to speak to a counselor one-on-one, discuss your profile, you can go on that link, sign up, and a personalized counselor will be allotted to you. They'll help you with your profile evaluation, your university shortlisting, your SOPs, and your LORs and visa assistance as well. So book your slot, and the link is floating in the chat box. Cool. I'll start with the questions now before Tushar joins us. He'll be joining us in a few minutes. Okay. So first question by Sheetal. Sheetal, for diploma in nursing, colleges offer diplomas. So I would say you can, if you're particularly looking at Ontario area, then I would say you can look at Cambrian College and Centennial College as well. Algonquin College is also in Ottawa. I think that will suit as well. Apart from that, Centennial also offers pretty good nursing programs. Right. Next up. Cool. Abhishek Purohit. Let's have Tushar here. So then he'll address your question. Cool. Next up, we have Madhav Gupta. Okay, Madhav, let me explain the UK PR process. So ideally, for the UK PR, you can expect to take around 5.5 to 7 years to get the PR. So what happens is you graduate from the university, and once you get the post-study work visa, you get a job, and your employer is ready to sponsor you for a skilled worker visa, do note that most employers in the UK can sponsor you. So that includes, big companies or small or medium enterprises as well. So if your employer is ready to sponsor your visa, you can apply for the skilled worker visa, which is for 5 years. And once you complete 5 years in the UK on a skilled worker visa, you can apply for the UK PR. The only catch here is, let's say if your employer is ready to sponsor you, as soon as you join, so you might take less time, but some employers might want to see your performance first. So they might take a year. Some employers might take 1.5 years to sponsor you. So it depends on how soon you get the sponsorship. So technically, it depends on that. But 5 years of legal stay is required in the UK to get PR, and the UK PR is called ILR, or the indefinite leave to remain. Right. I hope that answers a lot of your questions. Alka, you've completed your master's in microbiology. Um, which country are you targeting, Alka? So, ideally, if you're doing a second master's, the only concern I would have is you need a very, very strong SOP to tell the admissions committee that why do you want to do a second master's. Also, your second master's cannot be similar to what you've done in your first master's. So, choose a field which is closely related to your field, but again, not similar. Okay. Imran, I want to pursue my bachelor's degree from France with a 100% scholarship. See, Imran, I'm not an expert in France as a country, but I can give you some directions. So there is this website called Campus France. You can check that website, and they'll help you with all the listings of universities and whatever you want to study. Cool. Okay, so we have a next question, and I think we have Tushar already joining us, and I think he will answer that question. Cool. Let me just bring him in. Hey, Tushar, how are you? Good evening.
Hi Saket, good evening. How are you?
Good, good, good to see you again.
Good to see you again. Likewise.
Right. So, guys, so Tushar is here. I think we already have your fans joining us, Tushar. So they've been asking a lot of questions. So yeah, and I think he needs no introduction. He runs a channel called Tushar Pareja, which is again by his name, and he's one of the most loved YouTube creators from, I would say, so from the southern hemisphere. Uh, yeah, and plus he's almost touching 4 lakh subscribers, and he's loved by millions of students across India and everywhere. So welcome, Tushar.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for inviting, and thank you so much for that lovely intro.
Right. So shall I shoot the questions
Yeah, sure,
to you?
sure, go for it.
Cool. So first thing, which university is good for masters in finance?
So basically, it depends upon which university you want to go into. In which city do you want to go into? Australia has like 5 states: New South Wales, Victoria, South Australia, Western Australia, Northern Territory, and Tasmania. You can go anywhere. Basically, it depends if you want to go into city or if you want to go into the regional area. Regional area gives you more uh, post study work visa. For example, recently a news came in that they're offering 5 year of post study work visa. It's not confirmed yet. It's going to be confirmed in the mid of October. But if you go into regional area, you'll be getting more working rights. And if you go to any city, it's going to give you 3 year or 4 year of working visa. If I talk about finance, just go for just go into any regional area. For example, Gold Coast has University of Queensland, University of South Australia, University of Adelaide, University of which is in Canberra, University of ATC. So you can go any university where you feel the core structure, the units are preferably relatable to you, which you can do.
Right.
If you want to go to, like for example, Master of Accounting as well, you see the core structure of every university. Every university has a different pattern. Every university has different subjects, though it means the same in the end. But if it's helpful to you, if the university is offering good scholarship, then go in that university.
Right. Right. And Tushar, just a question I had as well. That
Yeah.
does it make a lot of difference if someone graduates from a group of 8 university, let's say University of Melbourne or University of Sydney, or ANU or Monash and all that? Does it make a lot of difference in Australia in terms of getting jobs after they graduate, like the
it,
university brand name?
it doesn't make much difference, to be honest. But
Right.
if you, just give you an example. If I graduate from Deakin University, and if there's somebody else who's graduating from Monash University, he or she has paid $100,000 for the course, for example, for masters, and I have paid $50,000 for that course. If I have more experience, I'll be hired. I'll be ending up getting a good job. If the other person has less experience, on the other hand,
Yeah.
they'll be landing up a job which has less salary. So basically, it depends all about experience. The
Experience.
experience you gain in Australia matters a lot in the end after your degree. Even when
Right.
you're in your degree, even if you are in your third semester, you get internships and you get settled down in really good company. It doesn't matter in which uni you came from. So that's what I say again and again. Just go for a university which is offering good scholarship. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter if you graduate from, Monash or Macquarie University or University of Sydney, New South Wales. I know these are big universities, but if you plan to go back to India, then study from group 8 universities. If you have any plans to go back, and these are renowned universities, these are known everywhere
Yeah.
in the world. That's why they're called top 8 universities here in Australia.
Yeah.
But if you want to settle down here in Australia, you want to get PR, you want to get settled, just gain much and more experience, so that you have good CV in the end, by the end of your studies, so that you get
Right.
settled into a good job. So that's what all matters.
Right. Cool. So next question I have is from Siddharth, and he's like, "Shall we come? Shall we go abroad after 12th? So what would you recommend?"
So what I have seen, I have like a lot of friends who are doing bachelors of business administration, and a couple of more friends who are doing masters. So what I feel, that it leads to a bit of, how do I say, you won't be able to drive like properly. So
Yeah.
if you come after 12th, you'll be around 17 to 18 years old. If you come to Australia, if you come to in a state like Victoria, you will be able to drive a car for like 6 months. After
Hmm.
that, you have to get your own international license,
Yeah.
Australian license. So if you're 17 years old and you come to Australia, and if you're 18 and you come to Australia, then you'll be getting L, which is learner's license. You have to be having
Right.
somebody sitting on the side with you all the time. Then you
Yeah.
get P, then you get green P. So it's not, how do I say, like, it can be beneficial to you. Plus, there are demerits as well. For example, if you come for bachelors, you're studying here for 3 years, right? 3 to 4
Yeah.
years. You're doing engineering, it's going to be for 4 years. You're doing any course in commerce, then it's going to be for 3 years, right? So you'll be paying the fees
Yeah.
for 6 semesters. On the other hand, if you come for masters, you'll be paying the fees for 4 semesters.
Four
Fees is going to be
semesters.
higher if you come here for bachelors, and
Yeah.
your pay rate would be less as well. A 19-year
Right.
old would be earning around 17 to $18 on tax.
Hmm.
But on the other hand, if a person who comes from masters would be around 21 to 22 years old, they'll be making around 25 to $26. The pay rate also matters, in
Yeah.
the end.
And plus,
So
I think it
you
turns out to be more expensive as well.
it turns out to be more expensive, but you get settled easily after. You'll be settling up here in Australia at the age of 20 to 23. On the other hand, if a master students come in, like I am 23-year-old myself, I've got 1 year of study left, then I'll be getting 3 to 4 year of post study work visa. I'll be 27, and then I'll be settling down here in Australia. If I would have come for my bachelor's, I would be easily setting up by the age of 22. So a lot of things have positive sign, but
Yeah.
it has a negative sign as well. So it totally depends upon you. If you think you can do it, if you think you can able to manage your fees and everything for your bachelor course, then just go for it. Come to Australia, it's fine. But if you think that I will be paying my own fees and everything, then just come for masters, or else just apply, at least apply and see what scholarships they have for you. Even if you want to come for bachelors, I have seen people who are here on 100% scholarship. I have seen
Yeah.
people who are here on 50% scholarship. So you never know what scholarship, what plans Australia has for you. Just go for
Yeah.
LeapScholar's page and have a look, talk to the counselors, and they will let you know if you're eligible for a scholarship, and then come to Australia.
Right. I hope that answers the question, Siddharth. Next up, we have a question. So let me just take it up. It's on Canada. So, Rishi, for law, I would not recommend Canada as an ideal country because, how Indian law is designed. It's like very, very similar to what British law is, basically, which is called common law. And if you're looking to study LLB, I would recommend that you choose the UK, and UK universities have kind of an MOU with Bar Council of India, wherein you graduate, and in case you have to come back to India, you can still work here. Canadian universities have a very different format and very different, I would say, curriculum in terms of law. I hope that answers the question. So, Tushar, this one question I have is from MD, and I'm not really sure because I think even you are not a PR expert.
Yeah.
But again, from your understanding, if you can answer this question. So this guy has got software engineering from Charles Darwin University, Darwin, which is I believe in Northern Territory, and he has around 95 points.
Yeah. Australian PR depends upon demand and supply. If as the person is saying, MD is saying he's in Darwin, you can go to the list and check it out if they are offering PR after masters of software engineering at 95 points. It totally depends upon the demand and supply. Australia changes its policies every 2 to 3 years. You
Yeah,
never know, it's going to be changing after six months. It's all demand and supply. If the demand is low, then they increase the points. If the demand is high, they reduce the points, and then they get invitations like normal people like us. So it totally depends. You can go and check into every state's like points requirement, and then like if you're eligible or not. But hopefully, if the person is in Darwin and he is having 95 points, then it's a good score. You can give it a
right.
try. But have a look on the official website of Australia Immigration, so that it's
Yeah,
like really helpful for you.
right. Cool. Aviral Arora UK monthly income average. So I'm not really sure which field you're talking about because it kind of differs from field to field. But again, I can give you an average that around 28 to 30,000 pounds is an average we're looking at. But again, if you want exact figures, I can suggest you a website which is pretty, I would say, pretty much sums up the whole UK market, job market in general. It's called prospects.ac.uk. You can check that out. Otherwise, you can also check out payscale.com. They have like really a wide base of figures and which they have collected from a lot of professionals. So I would say you can check the salaries there. But I think prospects.ac.uk would be a good start for you to research. Uh, Madhav Gupta, we will be starting that shortly. So keep watching LeapScholar. So yeah, we'll be starting with Bachelors pretty soon. I think this is the demand we've been getting. Yeah. Next up, right. So it's the UK question now. So cheap and best college for marketing in the UK. Uh, so if I talk about a marketing degree, a master's, it's 1 year. In UK at most universities, if I talk about cheap and best, I would say ideally you can expect the cost to be around 15 to 16 lakh rupees. And you can check out universities like Coventry, Sunderland, Teesside, Hertfordshire, De Montfort University. So these are like really good colleges, and they're not like they'll break your bank. So they're pretty affordable as well. Uh, cool. So I'll take up this question as well from Rahi, and he's done civil engineering. So Tushar, can you elaborate on like how Australia is for civil engineering people
To
in
be honest,
general?
I barely have that idea. But construction, if we say, like, is in high demand at the moment in Australia, and it has like good pay for the people who get into it. They make around $40, starting from $35 to $40, and if you work at night, it can raise up to $60 an hour, which is like very high pay rate. So basically, I don't
Yeah,
have much deeper concept idea of civil engineering, but construction is like continuously growing, and
yeah.
Australian economy needs people for that degree. So
Right.
yeah.
And I believe how the government is actually pushing people to get into the regional areas because there's a
Yep.
lot of construction happening anyway.
Yep.
And
Yep.
I think he's right, Rahi, that Tushar is saying, of course, if you choose a regional area here would be a good
Yep.
option. Otherwise, I think Canada is also going through a similar phase wherein if you move out of bigger cities, for example, if you go to British Columbia, a lot of people choose to go to Vancouver in general. But if you look at cities like Kelowna or Penticton, which are like growing at a very very fast rate, so a lot of construction is happening. So if you happen to if you happen to study for a civil engineering or a construction management program, I would say Australia and um, Canada would be better option for you. UK as a country is like already has a very developed sort of infrastructure, and it's a small country. So yeah, and Australia and Canada on the other hand, they're like so many pockets which are like not very very developed, and they're just kind
Yep.
of starting to develop. Uh, Meet UK accepts Duolingo English test. I'm not really sure because universities keep changing that requirement every day. So I would advise that check out the updated web pages on the university pages because I cannot say that if the Duolingo, because a lot of universities stop accepting Duolingo because now the test centers are open. So just check with the universities. So that would be a better option for you. Next up, clinical nutrition, food science. Okay. So Sindhu Reddy, clinical nutrition, food science. How's the industry on in this area? Do you have any idea, Tushar, in Australia? So I can.
To be honest, no, not for that as well. Like clinical nutrition and dietitians and food
Yeah, it's more
sciences.
related to like agriculture and the sort of food sciences and health sciences, lot of kind of domain. So, as per my understanding, I think Canada would be a very good option for you, Sindhu, and uh, depends on which area you want to focus on. So, let's say if you want to get into food sciences, Toronto is seeing a lot of job openings in this field, and I would suggest if you're looking at Canada, you can also look at Atlantic Canada, and they have like really good universities. So Dalhousie is one university which offers really good programs in food technology. And if you're looking at something like Ontario, I would say Toronto is there. They have really good programs. Check out that. If you're looking at interior provinces, Alberta and Saskatchewan would be pretty good options for you. Next up, a lot of questions on Canada as well. Canada and Germany as well. We're getting Germany questions. So, guys, I'll not be answering Germany questions, unfortunately. But yeah, just to give you like a direction, if you're looking to study in Germany, just go to German Academic Exchange Service website, and they have all the information you need. So these are okay. University of Melbourne or Monash for finance.
These are like big universities here in Australia, and the fees of these universities are like on
Really
the
high.
higher side,
Yeah.
really high. So, as I said before as well, they are on the same level, and even if you get into either of the universities, you will be having a good university life and post study work experience as well. So, either of the universities which is offering you a good scholarship, just go for it. That's what I would say for this as well.
Right. And, just to give you a heads up here, both universities have ample scholarships on offer. So
Yeah.
Monash is one university which also offers, uh, you know, um, uh, like a fully funded scholarship if you want. So again, possibilities are endless. Tushar, Ronnie is asking about pharmacy. Is Australia a good option for pharmacy?
Yep, of course. Like at the moment, recently, COVID pandemic came in, and like in this field, like nursing, pharmacists, and everything, they're like continuously growing, and they need people here in Australia. Recently, they increased the job opportunities by giving us like 50,000 job vacancies at the moment here in Australia, and mostly they need healthcare workers and pharmacists to be working here in the country. So yes, it has a good scope here in Australia. If you are considering to come, just go for any regional area, or even if you want to come come into the cities, you will be ending up getting a good job and good pay.
Right. Just to add up here, Ronnie, pharmacy as a field, no matter which country you choose, I think health sciences
Yeah,
people are the luckiest people. So no matter which country you choose, you guys have like good opportunities everywhere
yeah,
because I think world has lost a lot of health people in the whole 2 years of
yeah.
pandemic, and every country is facing massive shortages. So I was just watching this random blog somewhere that Canada's healthcare structure is all like crumbling because of shortages. So yes, pharmacy is a good program, and yes, Australia is no exception.
And as
uh,
of and as of January 2021, sorry to cut you off, like the average salary of a pharmacist is about 80,000 Australian dollars, which I see like that's going to be the initial salary they'll be making.
yeah,
So yeah.
pretty good money, I would say.
Yeah, yeah. But Australia takes a lot of taxes as well. If you are earning $100,000 a year, they're gonna be taking about 30% of the taxes. So they take $30,000 out. So you'll be
Yeah,
ending up
but I
having
think
70.
that's the case with every developed country. Like
Yeah,
30% is like pretty standard.
yeah,
I was
yeah,
just reading somewhere like it might surprise you that if you look at Scandinavia, which is like considered as most happiest countries in the world, like Norway, Sweden, and Finland, the
yeah.
tax is around 60 to 65%.
Oh my God, that's like too much. You'll be ending up having just 40% of the salary you made by hard work
Yeah.
and everything. Crazy.
So yeah, but those guys, they get the best facilities from the government in terms of
Mhm.
healthcare and education. Everything is free for the citizens. So yeah,
Yeah,
depends on what you want in life,
yeah,
guys.
yeah.
Like we crib about Indian taxation system. So yeah, like every country is on the same path, I would say.
Yeah, in Australia, if anything happens to you, like even if you get a cut or to a major accident, they're gonna be helping you by charging no
Yeah.
money. So that's how it is. That's how the tax system works. So
Yeah, so the tax is for your benefit anyway. So I don't
yeah,
want to comment on Indian taxation system, but yeah,
yeah.
cool. Ronak, a very pertinent question I get from everyone, that whether I should go for a diploma or group of eight or Russell group in UK. So I don't know. Like my opinion, I'll ask Tushar as well. So my opinion would be, it depends on what your priority is. So if I put myself in your shoes, and if I think from what I think, I would choose to study in a group of eight or a Russell group and come back to India rather than studying a PG diploma in Canada. That's my take. So everyone would have a different opinion.
Mhm.
What's your opinion, Tushar?
Yes, same likewise. Like if there are like priorities set for everyone, some people want to study and then go back because of the family and everything. Maybe they have a business, that's why they want to go back. Or they just want to live the international students' life by coming to abroad and then they go back. Some people, like if I would say 70% of the people want to settle down in the country, and that's why like what used to happen recently, like before the Australia gave the rule that you can't change the university or you can't change the course. Like before that,
Mm-hmm.
people used to come here, get into big universities, then switch their courses to normal colleges or get into a lower degree, but that's not possible at the moment. So if you're making any decision coming to Australia, just stick to it. Don't change your university or course.
Yeah.
And if you have in your mind that I want to go for PR, you have 4 year of working experience, you have 3 year of working experience, you can do a trade course or get PR. There are like so many options once you come in. If you get settled down into a very good company, for example, you get settled into KPMG after studying masters of finance or anything, then they will be offering you PR, and you wouldn't even realize that this was a space for me, this was a door for me which was unopened before. So
Yeah.
yeah, just do hard work, and Australia has a lot of doors open for you. It just needs hard work, and yeah, it depends if you want to study here and go back or you want to settle down in the country.
Right, but that being said, I think even if you study in a group of eight, and like if you work hard, and if like if you're very very proactive, I think getting a
Yep,
PR is not that difficult in
yep,
Australia as
yep,
well. It's just
exactly.
that, yeah, you just have to work harder in
Yeah,
terms of because yeah, Canada, because they've made it very easy for international students to come, kind of come and just get
yeah.
1 year of experience and settle down. So yeah, I think
Mm.
Ronak, it will ultimately come down to you. In my opinion, like I said, a group of eight and a Russell group in the UK, or Ivy League in US would be my choice, would be my priority, even if I have to come back. But
Yeah.
again, it will all come down to you.
Mm.
Right. Next question, Tushar, I'll take up is from Disha. Canada arts courses without maths, plenty options. Psychology, plenty universities and colleges will offer psychology. You can also choose business communication. Some universities will also offer HRM or marketing. You can check out hospitality management. Also, a lot of colleges in British Columbia also offer something called an Associate of Arts degree, which is for 2 years, in which you study a variety of subjects, and then you can transfer to a good uni like SFU or UBC or UBIC or Capilano for your bachelor's degree as well. So Disha, get in touch with us and we'll help you, shortlist a proper university. On that note, just to give you a reminder, there is a link which is floating in the chat box if you want to speak to a counselor one-on-one. So talking to me directly, that offer is long gone. Last time I requested you that you sign up and talk to me directly. That offer is gone for now. So yeah, I'll announce it when it comes back. So if you want to speak to a counselor, get your university shortlist, get in touch with LeapScholar. There is a link which is floating in your chat box, and someone will reach out to you shortly. Right. Okay. It's time to bust the myths. Maybe even I have this myth in mind that Australia is expensive.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. But the period and the work cycle is that's how it works as well. So I show in my videos as well. Like recently, like today only, I uploaded a video where I said I made $40 an hour by doing Uber Eats delivery. That's more.
Right.
That's more than the other countries. If you see other people's video, or if you talk to any other people around the world, that's more. I would say that as well. but the expenses are higher as well. I'll just briefly give you my expenses, like general expenses here in Australia. I myself pay $225 a week rent every week, plus the grocery cost goes up to $70 a week. You can
Hmm.
equal it to $300 a week, plus car fuel goes up to $60. That's optional, to be honest. But even if you travel into public transport, it's going to be $50 every week, so $350 for a week, plus
Yeah,
miscellaneous expenses. You can go up to $50 again, so $400 a week is the expenses, is the normal expense which
yeah,
an international student has to go through. It could be less as well. Some people used like to stay in a bit, a confined place, and then they pay less rent. It's fine. That's fine. Totally fine. But on an average, people usually spend $300 to $350 a week here in Australia. If you combine that for a month, that's going to be around $1,500 to $1,600 every month, which people pay. So this is expensive. Like, if I consider that as well, it's equal to about 80 to 90,000 rupees INR per month here in Australia. But if you work hard, and if you are willing to literally put in your 40 hours every week, then you can save your money and pay off easily as well. So people think Australia is expensive, but the pay rate is that equal as well. So I wouldn't say Australia is expensive. It is, but if you
yeah.
work hard, it's fine, it's totally fine.
Yeah, and I think it also has to do with something called geographical remote, because I think Australia and New Zealand are pretty like remote, like far away from everything
Yep.
basically, and I think the transportation costs are pretty high.
Yep.
So
Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
I would somehow agree that, yeah, because I've also lived in New Zealand for almost 3 years of my life, and I can totally relate to it, because everything even you buy in the supermarket,
Yep.
having coming from UK for, I lived in the UK and then moved to New Zealand for 3 years. I found New Zealand very expensive, and I think the
Mm,
common notion in India people have is New Zealand is a very cheap country. It's not,
mm, mm,
because obviously because they are remote, and when the countries are remote, the geographical location, it kind of results in increased transportation cost and increased commodity prices as well. So yes, Australia is expensive, but like Tushar said,
mm.
you also get to earn good, and
And
Australia actually
exactly.
offers one of the
Yeah.
best starting salaries in
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
whole world,
As
better
I
than
said,
US.
yeah. So sorry to cut you off. You can make, like, you can start the salary starts from around $60,000. It can even start from 50 to 60. Like, let's take an example, $60,000. That comes around $1,200 a week. Like, and if you cut down taxes, that's around $1,000 a week or
Yeah,
$900 a week. And your expenses are $300, so you're saving $600 every week. So
yeah.
yeah, it's like you make good money and you save good money as well. But it all depends how hardworking you are, and
Exactly. I
how
was
how
coming
much
to
are
that.
you willing
I
to,
was
yeah,
coming to that. You have to be
yeah,
very, very proactive. So don't
yeah.
just expect that you land in Australia and start making $1,000 straight away. So you
Yeah,
have to be
yeah.
very, very proactive.
Even if you
Okay.
go out to eat, even if one meal comes for around like $15 every day,
Mhm.
even if you go out to have a meal, even if you want to have McDonald's, for example, the basic meal would be for like $8-9 if you consider.
Right.
So that's how it is. It's expensive, but it's fine. Yeah.
Right. Cool. Tushar, one more question. I think this is something which a lot of people ask, that do universities provide placements? So I think I've answered this question a lot of times, that we don't have campus placements abroad. So yeah,
Yeah.
once from
So,
you as well.
yep. So some universities may provide, like, I haven't seen it. Like, when I was coming to Macquarie University, so initially I was doing Masters of Professional Accounting, and then I was told that, yeah, Macquarie University has placements, but I haven't seen it, in the university. But in and around the university, there are like a lot of offices and corporate sector. Then you can tap into them by LinkedIn and everything, but it takes time. You will be ending up getting a job, but I haven't heard or seen Australian
Yeah.
university providing placements
Yeah,
or
because I
stuff.
think that's same with every university. So I think I've said it in like so many webinars and lives before as well, that these universities, they'll help you connect with employers.
Yeah.
They'll have open days wherein the employers come to the campus. They'll connect with you. But
Yeah.
again, there's nothing called campus placement.
Yeah.
So I hope that answers your question as well, Abhishek. University will not help you with campus placement, but they'll help you with employer connections, and that will be you have to take it further from there. Uh, so very interesting question. Easy course in Australia. So I
Oh,
also get this question a lot. So what's
Nothing,
an
nothing
easy?
is easy. Nothing is easy. If you have interest in any of the things, like even if you have done it in your 12th grade or even before that, even in your bachelor's, if you like something, then it's easy. If you don't like something, nothing's gonna be easy. I used to like
Yeah,
accounting, and then I enrolled myself into Master of Accounting. Then I realized that's not for me. That's when I changed my course to Masters of Film and Television. I
yeah,
love making videos. I love making movies. So that's why I can say Masters of Film and Television is easy for me, but it would be
right,
hard for you because you hate it. So if you're good in, if you're good in medical sciences, just go for medical courses. If you're good in, IT, just take IT. Nothing is easy. If you love something,
right.
then it's easy. That's
Yeah,
how I would like to answer that question.
right. Next question, Sabita. Canada is good for MBA. Yes, it's good for MBA in finance. Plenty universities offer MBA, and usually the requirements would be you need a GMAT score as well, because most universities would require GMAT in Canada. And I would advise, if you have a percentage over 70% plus an IELTS score of 7 plus is recommended, because Canadian universities are generally very, very competitive. So to get into a Canadian university, these are the few things you have to look at. And the most important part is you ideally need to have a 4 year degree, which is the major pain point for Indian students, because someone coming from a BBA or a BCA or a BA or a BSc, it is pretty tricky to get into a Canadian university. Uh, Next up, okay, so not a lot of questions on Canada rejection. Cool. This is something, which is troubling me a lot in the last few days. A lot of people are asking this question. Uh, cool. Give me 1 second, Tushar. So many
Yep.
questions I have,
No, I can understand.
and some questions are repetitive. So I just want to take like very important questions. Okay, so there are some people who are saying that they've just seen your vlog, Tushar. So I
Thank you
just
so
thought I'd convey the
much.
message.
Thank you
Uh,
so much.
cool. Let's take up this question on hotel management. So you can talk about Australia in general, Tushar. How's Australia for hotel management?
Yep. Yeah. So I will just explain this with an example as well, because recently pandemic happened. Everybody knows this thing, and people in hotels and everything, they need people in the restaurant. You know what? Australia, the major reason of Australia closing down all the restaurants at 5 p.m. because they have less workers. Like Christmas is
Hmm.
coming in, and they're like, no, we're gonna be closed for that week because we have no workers, or we have less workers. Australia is in high demand of hotel management courses and hotel management people. If you are keen, if you want to go into the industry, Australia is welcoming all the people, and it's like pretty in high demand. So yeah, you can consider that.
Right. And Tushar, before you leave, one last question for you. Best universities and courses for masters in IT in Melbourne.
Masters in IT in Melbourne, I can talk about Sydney. Masters in IT, Monash University is really good. If you can consider, Deakin University has a really good Masters of IT program. Plus, I can say RMIT,
Yeah.
which is a really nice university for IT programs as well. You can consider La Trobe as well, but in the end, whichever university is providing good scholarship, just go with that.
Right. Cool. So Tushar, any last minute, tips and tricks you'd like to give people who are looking to study in Australia for February 2023?
So Australia has a rule of demand and supply. If you think that this course doesn't have a PR, it might have PR after 3 or 4 years later. If you love something, if you have interest in any other courses, just go for that. If you have questions regarding the places, I'll just summarize it. If you come to city, you'll be having 3 year of work visa. If you come in regional, then you'll be having around 4 to 5 years of work visa. That gives you extra points for your PR, and that gives you more experience, and that gives you more chances of settling down in the country. On the other hand, if you wanna study in Australia and then go back to India, just go for the G8 universities, so that you can get a good job back in India as well. So just don't think too much. If you wanna get into a course, look for the universities, consult with leap scholars, consultants, and get yourself ended up in any other country. Wish you all the best, whosoever wants to travel to any other countries, Canada, Australia, or UK.
Right. Thank you so much, Tushar. Good night to you, and
Thank you. Thank you.
I'll keep
Yeah.
answering a few questions, and I
Yeah.
hope
Yeah.
to see you
Sure.
again soon.
Yeah. Oh, see you again. See you, everyone. Thank you. Thank you so much for inviting.
Thank you. Right. So let's get back to answering more questions. Nalin Raj, how's University of Leicester? Leicester is a very great uni. I have some friends who graduated from Leicester, and it's a very reputed university. It's not in Russell Group, but again, it's one of the most prestigious universities in central England, I would say, and they have really good computer sciences, school. So if you're considering University of Leicester, I would say go ahead with it. It's a very good university. Uh, Next up, we can take a question from Mohammed Akram. So, scope of mechanical engineering. Uh, Engineering as a field, Mohammed, is pretty much growing in the UK. So, let's say if you're coming from a civil engineering background, I would say Canada and Australia would be better. But again, for UK, mechanical is pretty good, electrical is pretty good, and computer sciences is pretty good. Also depends on which area you're living at. So there are a lot of cities within the central part of England which are like really really like famous for their industries. Like Sheffield is there, Manchester is there. So you can look at universities around that area, and there are pretty good options available. Uh, Sai Hardika Natarajan, MPH, Masters of Public Health, is one program which is available in most universities in Australia, and it's a pretty reputed course. Not closely relates to, but I think it's a part of the healthcare industry. So definitely go for it. People are in demand. If you want to go for MPH or even Masters of Healthcare Management, Masters of Healthcare Leadership, or Healthcare Administration, that will suit you. Um, Sabita, I think MBA finance, I've already answered your question. For PR, it comes down to Canada, which is the easiest country for you. But to get into MBA, I've already told you what all things you need to take into consideration. Cool. Account solution. How's ACCA? ACCA is one certification which is not just recognized within the UK but all over the world. And I think I did a session with Nidhi as well, and she also placed ACCA at the top. So if you're thinking of getting an ACCA certification, I would highly rate it. Uh, Arsalan Qureshi, hello sir. In January, I planned to go to UK, so this is a good option. Yes, it's a good option, Arsalan. But again, if you want to apply for January intake, the deadlines are usually October, mid-October, or first week of November, depending on which university you wish to study at. Uh, However, if you're targeting Russell Group universities, in case, so Russell Group universities don't usually offer January intake; they have September intake only. So if just get in touch with us, and we'll help you with the university shortlist. Cool. Next up, Jananmaya, I have 3-year academic gap. Am I eligible for studying PG diploma in Canada? So, Jananmaya, what were you doing in this 3 years? Uh, there are certain instances wherein we can justify the gap, and if you can justify it with some, if you have some work experience, maybe you were running a family business or something, it's still justifiable. So I would say get in touch with us. I would need to know more details of your academic gap. And if we can justify it, yes, we can apply for a PG diploma. But again, you need a very, very strong SOP in this case. And our counselor will help you, understand your case better. Uh, Rajesh, I'm sorry for not being able to do that. Plus, you can try from this link and let me know if it works for you. Jatin, after MCA, can we do the postgraduate diploma? Not recommended because ideally, Canada is very particular about your overall background. And if you already have a master's, I would say go for another master's. But again, you need a very strong justification that why do you need another master's? UK, on the other hand, is pretty flexible. Jatin, if you're wanting to study abroad, uh, in the UK, you can do something like a management course. Canada as well, if you want to go, I would say go for a management course and get a strong SOP done. and I'm pretty much sure you can get accepted, but I'll not recommend a postgraduate diploma because it might result in a visa rejection. And Canada is like going through a massive backlog right now, and you don't you shouldn't idly mess up your own profile yourself. Hariharan, yes, you can. MBA is one of the most in-demand programs, but make sure you check out what is the duration of your MBA program. For those people who are willing to study in Canada on a one-year program, the major challenge which comes is the PSW you get. So ideally, to apply for PR in Canada, uh, international students, what you have to do is you have to apply under the Canadian experience class. And one of the major criteria for Canadian experience class is that you need to have 1 year of experience in Canada after your graduation, like after you did your master's or bachelor's or whatever. So if you receive 1 year's PSW and you don't get the job on time, it's basically you're running from edge to edge. So that is something you should ideally check, whether you'll be able to handle that kind of stress. A lot of students have successfully got PR even after 1 year course, but it will be a very tight deadline. So you have to work very, I would say, efficiently, and you have to be on your toes. So yes, you can get. Okay, Mohit. Ranking wise, jobs opportunity wise, I think both. Ranking wise, I would say UK rules the ranking tables. Basically, UK and US. If you look at the rankings, both Times Higher Education or QS rankings, which are the most credible rankings in the world. Uh, but again, Australia also have around 7 universities in top 100. UK has around 17 to 18 universities. Depends on where you want to go. Job wise, it will or it will come down to what kind of program you're looking to pursue, right? I hope that answers your question. Next up. Okay, so Abhishek, I just saw your question now. So I'm sorry I could not post your tell your question, post your question to Tushar, but I'd like to answer it. In case because your work ex is you could not work because of your father's demise. It is possible because it's a very genuine reason, and we can justify this gap, but I would suggest that you apply as soon as possible because you graduated in 2020. We can justify this gap, and you can go for a master's degree. I hope that answers your question. uh, Next up. uh, okay, so very interesting question. If you have to choose from nursing or any engineering to pursue in Australia after having math in 12th, what will you choose? So Radhe, one thing is there. You most universities, there are a few universities like RMIT, they need math in Australia, and many universities in Australia will not require math as well. So it will depend from university to university. First thing, for nursing, engineering, yes, but for nursing, you also need biology. So if you have biology, uh, my choice would be, uh, would be something I would like. So if you like being an engineer, go for engineering. But if you like being a nurse, then go for nursing. So it ultimately comes down to your interests, because you do not want to end up getting into a wrong course, because you'll be spending a lot of money, and that is why I say that self research is very important. So sit down, think, and decide which program would you want to see yourself pursuing in the next few years. Ravindra Babu, masters in computer sciences, UK pretty good, Australia pretty good, Canada pretty good. So depends entirely on you. Sahil, can I share my 10th, 12th BTech mark sheets with consultancies on WhatsApp? Black and white ones and BTech internet generated ones? Yes, you can, Sahil. I don't see any problem with that. But again, yeah, comes down to you. I don't see any problem with that, however. Rajesh Joshi, I want to study BBA in Australia with 100% scholarship. So there are two universities I can think of right now, Deakin and Monash. They offer 100% UG scholarships. Rajesh, you can try these universities, but again, they are very, very competitive. Uh, cool. I'll take two or three more questions, and I'll be back with another session on Wednesday. So many questions I have. UK after BCA, which university? Plenty universities in Ashok, like a lot of UK universities offer. Most UK universities offer computer sciences courses depending on what's your budget. So if I talk about the best college, then it's Imperial, Oxford, Cambridge, King's. Labro has a very good computer sciences program. Surrey has a good program. I believe not Surrey, Labro has a good program. You can also check out Bath. They also have good programs. So yeah, like plenty good options. Uh, Zeba Manu, can I apply for MSc CS after BCA in the UK? Yes, you can. You can also choose to specialize in a particular course. Like if you want to do cybersecurity, if you want to do data sciences, there are plenty specializations on offer as well. Uh, Rijul, engineering management, I would say all three countries would fit the bill perfectly. Uh, but talking from the perspective of PR, I would say Canada should be your first choice. Otherwise, UK also has very good options. Australia also had very good options. Just that Canada has a very easy permanent residency system, and that's why most people choose Canada. So ultimately, comes down to you. Business analytics. I'm actually working on a video on this, and business analytics is one of the most hottest jobs in the UK right now, wherein uh, employers are struggling to find people from the background, and there are plenty jobs. But having said that, Australia is not far behind, Canada is not far behind. So yes, all three countries have, see, data sciences, business analytics, nursing, pharmacy, healthcare management, public health, medicine, dentistry, veterinary sciences, culinary arts, especially chefs. These are the few jobs which are like in demand everywhere. So you guys don't need to worry that much. Cool. I'll take up one more question, and uh, repetitive questions are there. So cool. So there's one question on scholarships. So guys, okay, so I'll take this question. Very interesting question. Can I take education loan without collateral for bachelors? I don't think so. It's possible. Whatever your name is. So not possible without collateral, because most collateral free loans are for master's level only. Cool. Thank you so much, guys, and I hope you enjoyed today's session. And I'll be back with another session on Wednesday, same time, and then we'll talk about something else. And I think I'm doing a session on scholarships. So if you want to know more about scholarships in all three countries, I'll be doing this session on Wednesday, 6 p.m. as well. And I hope to see you there. I hope you enjoyed the session, and I'm sorry if I could not answer all the questions today, but I'll try my level best to answer unanswered questions in next live like this. I hope this was a truly value added session for you. Cool. Signing off now. Thank you so much. Good evening, and I'll see you on Wednesday.